Hey Valorant players, can you believe we're at the end of the year already? Valorant's launch year? It's crazy. When I stop and look back, it's hard to believe where our team and all of you have taken Valorant in just 6 months. From closed beta to launch to now, any success we've had this year has only been possible because of you, our players and our community. So thank you so much for playing with us this year. Seriously.
Hey everyone, my name is Arnar Gylfason. I'm a senior producer on Valorant. With the release of our December patch, I wanted to share where the Valorant development cycle is today, what isn't working for us, and what improvements you should expect from us next year. To start, we need to acknowledge the reality that when you pair a team of our size, around 150 developers, with the multiple things we ship every patch, there's a web of complexity and interdependence that sometimes causes problems. So if a patch goes haywire, there might be 100 different reasons why, and it can be really hard to isolate them. Unfortunately, it's rarely a case of just shipping a simple fix. We've chosen having 2-week patch cycles so that we could be fast and agile in our updates and react quickly to your feedback. Anything longer and we start to get antsy, especially if you have to sit with something really busted for longer than that. But with how patch 111 deployed, it's time to pause and account for what we need to do to make sure that we're hitting a sustainable quality bar for you. To explain our development process, let's pick Skye and follow her through our pipeline as she went out in patch 111 a few weeks back. At this point, the team has been working on Skye for several months. This includes gameplay prototyping, design, concept art, visual effects, sound design, voiceover, localization, texturing, and of course, gameplay programming. The work of multiple teams must converge together into an experience that we can playtest internally, perform extensive QA on, and then hardware compatibility test once the content has been locked. And this is just one thing. If you read our patch notes, you know it's never just one thing. So to be clear, that example process is the same or similar for anything we develop and ship to you. We've documented exactly what went wrong with patch 111 before, so instead of rehashing, I want to talk about what we're doing to help prevent a repeat of last month. Right now, we start preparing for a release a full 2.5 weeks ahead of time. It starts with feature freeze, a signal to teams that they should hold off on any large or risky additional submissions to the build. That continues until we do a branch cut, the process of fully locking down a release candidate. For the devs out here, how this works is all teams essentially work in a main branch, then we feature freeze, which means slowdown of check-ins and regular playtests and focus QA cycles until we do a full staging branch cutover where we can run full QA regression cycles. So one solution at this point is to be stricter about our feature freeze targets and better at identifying potentially risky game additions one full development cycle ahead of release. This allows us to call for more testing, changes to risk mitigations, or any other adjustments to our plans to just ensure a solid release. But back to the release candidate. Currently, the time between the cut for a release candidate and getting it to you is 2 working days. That's 2 days to identify any release blockers and address them. To some, that may seem like a really long time, and to others, perilously short. The reason we trust our teams with this narrow window is because each of them deliver quality work. As I said earlier, what we've been bumping up against is that when all that work comes together, we sometimes get unexpected and unpredictable interactions between seemingly unrelated systems. What we've now done is increase the amount of time for final testing, meaning an extra 24 hours to test the release candidate. We've also added external testing capacity so we can burn that candle at both ends and just get more test cycles in. One more thing we've started doing is pacing our releases. This way we can make sure there's less critical mass of high impact changes going out at once. By now, I hope I've inspired more potential developers out there than I've scared off. But okay, so what about next year? So in addition to the process changes I previously mentioned, our forecast here is twofold. First off, every time we catch an edge case in the wild, it's no longer an edge case. It just becomes a part of our future test plans. And secondly, we're looking to release a public test server. Some of you might call it the public beta environment or PBE or whatever else, but we believe a test environment with lots of real players can help us catch a lot of potential issues before they slip out to our live servers. There are no perfect solutions when working in an environment as complex as ours, but we will continue improving our tools and processes to ensure that your experience matches our promise and expectation of high competitive integrity, frequent substantive releases, and happiness. Thank you. Parting words, let's go to Anna.
Thanks, Arnar. Like he said, next year we'll be rolling out a test server, which should really help with our dev cycles. We'll get more into the details of what that looks like next year, but in the meantime, just know this should be a huge step up in us releasing even more stable patches. And with that, I want to thank all of you for playing Valorant with us this year, for being such a huge part of our journey. Have a safe and healthy and happy new year, everyone. Oh, and play snowball mode. Get your snow globe gun, buddy.